Hello, everyone, and welcome to another high level masterclass. My name is Haplin, and today I am joined by a very special guest, Mike Joseph. Mike Joseph is the guy who has created the community course on barbershop success inside of high level. So, running a barbershop. My guess is, well, we could get into this later, but I think there's probably other niches very similar to a barbershop that also benefit from this as well. But you chose to focus on barbershops, and I want to know why. I'd love to hear you just introduce yourself really quick. Tell us about your experience with high level and what led you to this barbershop playbook for us.
Yep. So, hi everybody. Again, my name is Mike, founder of Locks by Us, which is my shop, as well as Visual Media Marketing. That's my digital ad agency. I've been using Go High Level, I think, since 2019, I believe. And since I've gotten involved in it, I really took my time to learn the software because I was super excited to introduce this to a lot of my clients. I started working with barbershops since 2017. So as soon as High Level came out with these new service calendars, it was a big game changer for a lot of my clients. My first actual marketing client was a barbershop, which then, we got really good results for them. It led me working with another shop and then another shop. And now we advertise for shops worldwide, as well as some of the biggest barbering events like CT Barber Expo, Las Vegas Barber Expo. So all these really like with we made a really big move in the barbering industry. So when I was asked to be a part of this, as far as setting up a course, I'm like, yeah, this is something I do all the time. So I'm an open book. So I would love to help out the community any way I can, because it's definitely been a big help for my clients, especially for my shop. I've built my entire business off of Go High Level. Locks by Us is a unisex shop. We specialize in locks and braids, and a lot of the information you guys are going to get from this book is stuff that I've actually done with my existing clients who are barbershops, as well as what I do every day in my business for Locks by Us.
Sick. Okay, there's two things that just jump out at me that I
Yeah,
want to make sure the audience knows. Like the first is you don't just do this for other businesses, but you've done this for your own as well. Like you've got
correct.
experience in that niche. And
Hmm.
that always jumps out to me as like as really like helpful in my own work. Like working with businesses, having sales experience or experience running that type of business, super important. So for people who are out there in the community looking for folks who can help them, folks who actually don't just understand high level, but they understand the industry is a huge differentiator. And I know there's a lot of people watching this or new to the high level community who actually got their start there. They started out being an owner operator in a business. And now that they're getting marketing chops, they're kind of leveling up to that agency perspective where they're going to take the strategies that worked on their own business and extrapolate and apply them to others. It sounds like that's kind of what your path has been.
Pretty much, yeah. Like I said, we started with one shop, and we were doing Facebook and Instagram ads, and we were doing very well. And I always told myself one day I'll open up my own shop. And it happened in 2024. And High Level was a huge part of it. So again, like, I'm indebted to
Wow.
you guys, and my stylist, my staff. They love you guys too.
Sick. Well, that was the second thing that jumped out at me
Hmm.
actually was just hearing you say that you've been doing this since 2017. That
Hmm.
rung a bell in my ears because that's actually longer than high levels even been around. So
Yep.
that means you've been doing digital marketing for barbershops for longer than high levels even been here. But since
Yeah.
you became aware of high level,
Hmm.
that means you made an intentional decision. You didn't get your sea legs with high level. You didn't enter
Hmm.
into this industry with high level. You
Hmm.
moved over from other systems at some point.
Correct. 100%.
Um, and that kind of transitions us into like kind of what I want to talk about is let's talk about high level, how you're using high level. What
Mhm,
are, and this is kind of the master class part. We're actually going to enter
mhm,
into the classroom together. If you're
mhm,
watching this, prepare to get a little bit of wisdom from Mike about barbershops here. Like, what are the most important things that somebody working with a barbershop or similar business need to keep in mind when executing high level? I ask this because it's very common, myself included, first time logging into the platform, there's just like a million different things it can do. part of the reason we do these master classes is to try to help people focus. Like there's a million things, they're all valuable, and different businesses thrive on different pieces of it more than others, etc. But like what's just like the first thing, first two things, a couple of things that jump out to you, Mike, in terms of the playbook content, in terms of the roadmap for people to implement? Like, what's the most important thing to focus on in order to help a barbershop succeed with high level?
I think number one is making sure you have a proper foundation, right? Like even making sure you have all your social media accounts up to date, so your visibility's there. But for me, it's like first thing when I talk to any shop is like, okay, do you have online booking? That's the first thing I ask because
Gotcha.
if we're gonna run any type of advertising campaign or lead gen campaign, we've always seen that having online booking or offering that to your clients is a huge game changer, and that's what everybody is moving towards now, right? Like 10 years ago, 5 years ago, it was okay to just call up a shop or just walk in. But being able to book an appointment online is huge. So I always like to lead with that. If they don't, we get them right onto the service calendars in high level and make sure that they're all up to date. Another thing that I like to look at is like how are they tracking? And what I mean by that is like, okay, how many leads are you getting per month, or how many people are sending you text messages, how many people are opting into your online forms, things like that. Is just making sure all of that is set up, because one thing that high level does differently from a lot of these other softwares is it literally captures all information. From you can have automations or workflows that take an inbound SMS. So if someone who decides to text you, hey, I saw your ad online, we can capture that, create a contact, notify the team, hey, we got somebody who just reached out to us, and have
Mhm.
some automation in there to remind our team to follow up with them if they don't get followed up with. So that's been super huge. That's been super huge for us. And yeah, I think it's really just making sure you have a solid foundation, your online booking set. Once we're at that stage where we know we have those systems in place, the next thing we want to look at is like how can we get you more Google reviews, because that's like a shops nowadays, they live and die by Google reviews, because that if you're a new shop and you just started marketing yourself, people are going to want to research you, and they're going to, and if they never heard of you, whether you've been here 5, 10 years, they're still going to want to research you. So making sure that you have systems in place that are going to help you get more positive Google reviews, and not just threes or fours, but like to almost guarantee you 5-star positive reviews based on some of these automations we have in place.
Cool. Yeah. So the things that jumped out from that are
Hmm.
like hearing you say first question is always, do you have service calendars set up? Do you have
Hmm.
online booking? And some businesses do. That's great. It doesn't mean you can't work with them anymore. But like
Yep.
the fact that you know that that's the most important and first question to ask, that's like exactly the type of stuff, like the wisdom that we're here to get from
Mhm.
you, Mike. So people watching this video, if you're working with barbershops, that's the foundation, right? Step one, get their service calendars set up. And then two is tracking stuff like KPIs. I think that this is something that gets a lot of people lost and confused on, especially newbies. And this is something for me too. I'm a more analytical person, so I tend to overcomplicate things. And
Mhm.
I will jump in here to supplement based on my experience and my experience helping other agencies and stuff. This doesn't have to be complicated at first, but this is something that you said it because high level does it really, really well. You and I both know that like that's one of the strong points of high level is making it really simple. Like just by virtue of having an opportunities pipeline at all, you already have some tracking set up. That's as much as most people even need. So you had mentioned number of new leads in a month, new
Mhm.
contacts in a month, and new appointments set in a month is probably the next good KPI.
Mhm.
And I wonder, are there many more? Like, do you do shows or like how where would you say is a good like beginner's starting point? Because I know tracking can go on and on down the
Mhm.
pipeline and people can get kind of lost in it. So I just kind of wanted to follow up on that one.
Yeah, I think a good starting point is just having. Could you just repeat your question a little bit? I just want to make sure I'm
Yeah,
understanding
so
it correctly.
what KPIs do you key
Mhm.
performance indicators, like what things
Mhm.
would you
Yep.
recommend tracking? I know you already said
Yeah.
number of leads in a month and number
Mhm.
of
Yep.
appointments in a month. Is there anything else? That's just a starting place.
Yeah.
Obviously, people get
Yeah.
really,
I
really
think.
fancy with this stuff, but
Yeah. I think for KPIs for a shop, I want to know how many like existing clients they're seeing right now, how many new customers are coming in, how many of them are returning. Because for me, that's going to let me know if you have a lot of new clients coming in, but your retention rate isn't high, then that's something we need to work on. And I'm like, okay,
Ah,
we have strategies for that, right? We have reactivation campaigns. We can send email blasts, SMS blasts. 9 times out of 10, most shop owners aren't using these type of tools. They're not
mhm,
sending text messages out. They're not sending emails out. A lot of times, some people will tell me, "Oh, I don't want to bother my clients," but it's like you see these bigger brands online sending you emails like every 2 hours, and you're not unsubscribed to them. You know what I mean? So it's like I don't think we have to go on steroids and start emailing people every single day, but you got to reach out to these people on a weekly, if not monthly, basis. But yeah, I'm looking at how many new clients they're getting, how many returning, and if they're not getting a lot of new clients, okay, let's start working on some different promotions that can bring these people to the shop. If you are getting new clients but you're not retaining them, then that's a whole different strategy. Like I mentioned earlier, we're looking at reactivation campaigns. One thing I do want to mention, especially for everyone here who is working with barbershops, I've noticed in my personal experience, um, most people don't know, but there's different business models for each shop, right? You have the booth rental model where
mhm.
you rent out your chairs and a barber will pay you per week or on a monthly basis, and they're their own contractor. And then you have a commission based model where a percentage of it goes back to the shop. A lot of shops do a 60/40 or 50/50. I do a 60/40 in mine. And one thing that works really well with my business and what I've been able to do with the service calendars is I've been able to have it so like we take 40%, we have that all in the calendar. So as soon as they book that appointment, that 40% goes to my shop and the 60% gets paid in house. And where it's very easy for us when it comes to like issuing payouts and things of that nature. So that's another feature that, in my opinion, definitely changed the landscape for my shop out here in Quincy, Massachusetts.
Wow, yeah, so it's like it even helps kinda with the accounting or the tracking
Hmm.
of payments as well for, fulfilling the relationship that you have. That is interesting and a bit barber specific, but also applies to other things, probably like personal trainers and gyms are this way
Oh
too.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I think salon. I mean, more so. I think salons like to do the deposit, But
mhm,
what's happening now is a lot of shops are now collecting full payment for their services before the person even gets to the chair. So even in real time, the landscape is changing.
yeah,
Like bringing cash to a shop, you still can, but like it's changing where people are paying for their appointments before they even walk into the shop.
yeah,
So I think it's like it's just really important that we stay ahead and just like start adopting right away.
yeah.
So once the masses start taking the shift, you're already there.
Totally. I imagine I mean, I'm not the expert here, you are,
Mhm,
so correct me if I'm wrong, but just off the top of my head, I imagine there's some chicken and egg there too, where it's like, I bet a lot of shops would like to do it in a way where they collect money up front and it's cashless
mhm,
and they're not dealing with cash being brought up. But a lot of them don't have those tools, don't have the time to
mhm.
invest and set those things up. So it's like, it's not that they prefer to have people walk in with cash and have a cash
Yeah.
box and deal with that. They don't want to be doing that. They want the better system, and that's why they're
Mhm.
moving over. But they are looking for help with getting
Yeah.
that sort of thing set up. Um, so yeah, I'll just jump right back for a second to
Yeah.
database reactivations. That's so
Mhm,
interesting. You said that for KPIs. So number of
mhm,
leads, number of appointments booked, but also number of returning customers out of those people who book again, because it makes a lot of sense. A barber shop, you're getting a haircut more than once in
mhm,
your life, right? It's not like
mhm.
buying a house or something, but
Yeah.
yeah, so barbers rely on that business stylist and all the different um, all the different services kind of under that umbrella. It's like such a repeat business heavy thing. And
Mhm,
with all that said, I actually want to kind of invite you to get a little bit tactical with us, Mike, if it's
mhm,
possible. Could you please share your screen? Actually, click us into high level a little bit. I would love to see you show us a couple examples of these implementations that you set up for helping with something like a reactivation campaign. There's so many people watching this who have never heard of database reactivation, and I think
mhm.
you're about to blow their minds with it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, let me share my screen right here.
All right, let's get you added
All
in.
right, cool. All right, cool. So as you guys see here, whoops, I am in the automations section, and this is the sub account of my shop because I wanted to show you guys this is what we're doing. So let's go to service appointment workflows, and let me show you this one. This is a recent one I just created. Um, so if you're familiar with Go High Level, there's a lot of different ways to do reactivation campaigns. If you're not familiar with it, a reactivation campaign is reactivating an old list, right? So like whether you're sending an email blast or an SMS blast. What I like to do is I want everybody who comes to my shop to be part of it. I'm going to reactivate everybody who's been to my shop who hasn't booked an appointment, let's say 35 or 45 days after, right? So what I'm showing you here is the my service calendar workflow, and in this contains two things. It contains a request for a Google review, and it also requests a reminder to come back. Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of run you guys this from the top. And a lot of this is all in the course. Everything I'm talking about is all in the the playbook. So you'll be able to get all this here, right? So I have a trigger here. So when somebody books an appointment, it's going to notify my team. I have internal notifications for that.
Oh, hey, Mike,
Uh,
can I interrupt you really quick?
yep.
Sorry. Would it be possible to end your screen share and then reshare just the tab so we can look a
Y-
little bit closer?
Yeah.
Uh,
Sorry. Let me.
just so we're
You
not
said you
seeing
want
the
me to
address
stop
bar
it.
and stuff like that. What?
You want me to stop sharing? You
Yeah,
said,
feel
or
free to stop the share and then reshare again real fast.
okay.
And this time, make sure you just share the tab with that workflow in it, so that way the screen can get a
Oh,
little bigger for the audience.
let me see if I do. Oh, okay, 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 okay. Like this, right?
Let's
Did I do it right?
Yes, perfect. Thank you so
Oh
much.
my god.
Continue.
I have a story to tell you about that after because I remember you told me that about the course, and I had to do some crazy. Okay, yeah. Okay,
So
all
good.
right. So I'll start from the top then. All right, guys. So where we are right now is
And
in.
actually, can you hit the plus button in the bottom left-hand corner, just so we can yeah,
Read it.
maybe even one
Yeah.
more time? I just wanna
Yep.
make sure people watch yeah, okay, that looks good to me, thanks.
That looks a lot better.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. All right. Okay. Okay, guys. So what I have here is my workflow for that I use in my shop. In this, it contains our reminders, our text message reminders. It includes our tags. It includes an ask for a review, and it's going to include our reactivation campaign, which I'm going to walk through right now. So whenever somebody books on our service calendar, me and my team, we will get a internal notification, and we have tags, right? I always like to add the stylist or the barber tag to it as well, just so I know who the appointment is assigned to, because that is an option as well. You can anyone who books an appointment, you can assign it to one of your barbers or one of your staff members. That way, they'll be able to communicate with that client all within the app. Um,
Gotcha. I'm curious, so
mhm.
when they're booking and bookings come from the website, which means they come from anywhere, right? You could run
Yep.
ads to this, or you could do organic social, but anywhere it's linked to the website, there's a service calendar booking. So this is like the main fulfillment workflow for reminders and all the rest.
Mhm.
On those calendars, do people choose the barber or do they get round robined or how do you set that up?
So it's a combination of both.
Oh,
They do have the option to select whatever staff member they want, whatever barber or stylist they want, um, or they can just click any available and base it off of their availability. And at that point, it'll round robin. I have it so it round robins.
gotcha.
Yeah, but
Interesting.
they
Okay.
do. Yep. So I do like to give the option for both. Yeah, it just it's been working for me pretty well. So I like to add a client tag to anyone who does book an appointment. I like to add a barber or stylist tag right here. This is the SMS appointment. So what we have here is it says, "Hey, we're excited to confirm your appointment, date and time." I have the
Mhm.
location, and it's a bunch of code here. But what this section does here, which is great, is it's going to show the price and any add-on services that they picked up.
Nice.
That way, your barber stylist they know what type of service they're going to be giving right off the bat, and the client knows what service they're receiving. It confirms what they're receiving. So let me just back up just a little bit. And I also like to have, so even though this is going out to the client, this is client facing, I also like to have my staff know what's happening too. So if you're the barber, you're going to know your customer's name, you're going to know the start time, you're going to know the service details and the add-on prices as well. Now, as we get closer to the appointment, as you can see, I have some additional reminders here. And what I also have set up is because one issue that I've seen, and I know we're kind of jumping back and forth here, but it's all going to come together or for full circle. So what happens is one issue I kept running into was I wanted to make sure that we were getting Google reviews, and
Mhm.
every time they finish a cut or finish a service, I wanted my staff to say, hey, make sure to ask them for a positive review. And they would sometimes, they might send a link, and then it was just like it was just too many different variables, and we just kept losing opportunities that way. So then I made it so like we would have send a review request form, right? You can have a stage where you move a client onto that pipeline on that stage, and it'll shoots out a review.
Yeah.
But again, I was dealing with the issue with my staff as far as them going into the app, marking it complete, so it sends off that notification or that automation. So I'm like, okay, what can I do that I don't need? I can bypass all these variables, right? What I have set up is I have it wait 4 hours after the service time of the appointment. Okay. Once those 4 hours are done, so if they book an appointment at 12, they're going to get this at 4 o'clock. It's going to ask them a question. Hey, contact name. Thank you for visiting Locks by Us. We hope you love your service. Could you reply to this text with a rating from 1 to 5, 5 being the best to describe your experience? And what happens is if they give me a 5 or a 10 or 100, because we've gotten all those, right? 5, 10,
Yeah.
or 100. Those to me are what we consider positive reviews. That's going to be a 5 star. So what we have here is our branches. So if they say 5, 5, or if it contains 5, if
Yeah.
it contains 10,
Yep.
it's going to shoot out this question here with a link to our Google review. Right. So as soon as they see this, it says, thank you for rating us 5 stars. We're thrilled you had a
Mhm.
great experience. If you have a moment, we'd appreciate if you can leave us a 5 star review on Google to help others find us. Here's a link. And this has done wonders for our business because it gets us positive reviews on demand. It's no extra pressure or any extra work on my team. It's all automated. Now, if we get anything less than a 5, if they give us a 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, they're going to get a feedback question where it asks them, hey, thank you for sharing your feedback. We're always striving to improve. How can we get better? Right. Now I'm asking the client, how can we get better?
Mhm.
Now, this, to the client's eyes, if they didn't have a great experience, at least now they feel that they are heard because they can now send us whatever their concerns were. And now we know what we need to improve on. If we got a 4, why didn't we get a 5? What was it? Where your appointment didn't start on time? Was it something someone said? We want to find out. Now, after this, after they get the link to give us a positive review, what we also have happening is we have a wait step that waits 45 days. So in this step, we're waiting 45 days and we're going to send them a message to come back in. It's going to say, hey, contact name. This is a friendly reminder. It's been a little too long since your last visit. Your crown deserves better. Let's fix that. Book here. And we're sending them right to our website. Now, what's beautiful about this is if these people who are waiting 45 days, if they book an appointment, it restarts the automation so they're not in this
Yeah.
waiting room anymore. That's what's going to help us from not sending out repeat texts or any
Mhm.
glitches or anything like that. If they book an appointment, it starts everything again from the top and they go all the way right here to the first reminder or the confirmation text that they get. So this has done
Yeah.
wonders in bringing people back, and it has done wonders in getting us positive reviews all on Google.
Cool. I'm curious to ask on the reactivation
Mhm.
step, 45
Yep.
days. That makes enough sense. I can understand how you got to that wait step. This
Yep.
is part of the fun part of marketing, even for folks who are not working in this specific industry or whatever. I
Mhm.
hope that you're getting a lot of value out of this because it's an invitation for you to put your marketing hat on and think, when is the right time to reach out?
Mhm.
Obviously, it's kind of straightforward. It's kind of a nice example for a barbershop. 45
Mhm.
days is about when it's time to get another haircut, or maybe, as your copy
Mm,
says, a little too long even. And
yeah.
so that's like, it makes a lot of sense. It's congruent with the buyer's journey and the buyer's psychology. And even if
Mhm.
you're not working with barbershops, I invite you to think critically about the industry that you are working in. When does it make the most sense to reach out for a
Mhm.
reactivation, for a repeat customer, or for somebody who never got across the finish line in the first place?
Yep.
I'm curious
Mm.
to ask you, with this strategy, specifically on the reactivation, do you have like an idea, like an aggregated kind of expectation for like how many, what its impact is? Like if you have that message versus not having it, what percentage of people get that message and end up taking meaningful action and becoming repeat customers when they maybe wouldn't have if you weren't following up properly?
I'd say the probability is a lot higher. I'd have to go back and just look at the numbers to see, okay, is it like 20%? Is it 30%? One thing I can say is literally yesterday I saw that we had a booked appointment. So I went to the conversations tab to see what was it, and it was literally from our reactivation campaign.
Sick.
So it works and it doesn't hurt because it's been 45 days. They're getting a text, so it's not an email, right? So it's a little bit more intimate. They're getting a text. It's on their phone. They're way more likely to see it versus an email. Um, but it helps. It 100% helps. And it's like, without it, I know our retention rate wouldn't be as great as it is. And that's a fact.
Yeah.
If we get 10 new customers, if we get 10 new clients, I'll say at least 7 of them are coming back.
That is awesome. That's so
Yeah.
killer, man. This is like gold looking at this workflow, because
Hmm.
there's like so many different points of conflict and resolution, I guess,
Yeah.
from the marketing perspective. That's kind of
Hmm.
a weird way to word it. But what I mean
Hmm.
is, you've got the service calendars with like good organization, just getting the barbers or the stylists themselves
Hmm.
like organized and paid properly, attributed
Hmm.
properly, assigning them to that user, and getting that all set up on the back end. That's its
Hmm.
own value right there to the business. And
Oh
then
yeah.
the forward facing, um, the forward facing confirmation and reminder sequence, you kind of
Hmm.
glossed over that because it's so simple
Yeah.
for us, and it is
Mhm.
really easy to set up. But a lot of businesses are even just missing that. They're missing,
Oh yeah.
maybe they have a calendar, but they are not doing a good job of just making sure everybody
N-
shows up for that
No,
appointment,
no.
because they don't have this in here. That's another
Mhm.
win right there.
Mhm.
Um, Making sure they're on time, making sure that if they have questions or hiccups, that
Mhm.
they don't wait until 10 minutes before their appointment to reach out and make a complaint, or
Mhm.
cause drama. If they do have an issue, getting that one-day reminder triggers them to be like, "Oh, if I did need to cancel, that's the cue."
Mhm.
Everything gets so much easier when you
Mhm.
just have that system in place. So I wanted to
Mhm.
call that out as its own win. And then you
Mhm.
have the post-appointment review request, which
Mhm.
I love because it's totally automated. I've also personally run into the issue of trying to expect a salesperson or somebody, the front desk, or
Mhm.
somebody on the client side, even if it's just the simplest thing, like just move them to that pipeline stage.
Yeah.
And if they no show, move them to the no show stage. Like,
Mhm.
please just mark the appointment outcome. Even that is
Mhm.
too much for a client. And so
Yeah.
you went outside of that box and figured out how to completely take the client out of it altogether. It's
Mhm.
literally automated now. You don't do anything. The client doesn't have to do anything. It's just boom, 0 to 1 shift. Now every single appointment is getting a request to leave a review, which is
Mhm.
just that's just winning. It's just better than what they were doing before, which was probably not well.
100%. And a lot of the times too, the clients of the shop appreciate it. Like the fact that they get a
Yeah,
confirmation text, that they get an appointment reminder via text, they appreciate that. And it's for me, I was kind of surprised to hear it at first because I've been doing this for so long. I felt like, oh, it's normal to be able to send out appointment reminders. But the stories we hear from our clients coming in from different shops and the stories that they've heard with people who don't have these type of systems set up in place, it's like night and day. Like they look at us like, oh my god, like it helps increase the retention. It helps
yeah,
increase the retention. Um,
yeah.
one, yep.
Oh, no, you keep going. Keep telling me.
All right, cool. One other thing that I'm going to add to this, right? So, for a lot of you guys watching, service calendars is something new that they rolled out. And I'm so glad that I've been able to roll this out for my shop. What I had on my older appointment reminder, which I'm going to add here, is you see how, guys, I have after wait 45 days and it's going to send these people a reminder, right? What I had done before was I had it so I would have to wait another 30 days or another 45, and I'll have it send out another outreach. But this time I might say something a little bit more valuable. I might say, hey, these are um, I'll give them a reason why, like, these 3 tips on why you should wash your hair, right? 3 benefits of washing your hair, what it does to your hair follicles, what stimulates hair growth, things like that. So what I'm trying to say is this reminder text, this workflow could be a lot longer. I could
Yeah.
have a whole sequence or a drip sequence built inside of here, and this is going to guarantee that, like, okay, the people who are only receiving these messages are the people who haven't booked again. And then
Yeah.
once they do book, it starts it all over again, and it brings them back into the cycle,
Yeah.
And so it's just another thing that you guys can do with it. The amount that you can do as far as customization is limitless.
Yeah, I think you mentioned the word, the hot button word, we in marketing we call that a drip, right? A drip sequence
Yeah.
to call it, to bring
Yep.
them back. And I love what you said about the value too, because people who get across industries, this is something I see all the time. People who are really winning, they're
Mhm.
not just spamming with offers.
Mhm.
Or I was half expecting you to say your second one will include some kind of discount code or promotion on it, but I
Mhm.
love that it's not. It's actually
Mhm.
just staying top of mind and just engaging. Because when this stuff is
Mhm.
automated, it's you set it and forget it. You're only getting benefits. Typically,
Mhm.
with marketing activities or advertising or whatever, you're like putting money into ad spend, and it's a lot of time to manage it. So there's real like opportunity cost with doing a lot of marketing activities out there. This is really unique because there is basically no opportunity cost.
Mhm.
Um, there's no risk associated. Like if he sends out an article, link to an article on 3
Mhm.
reasons why everyone should be washing their hair, like, what downside is that? He set it up once and he sent it out. The worst possible thing that's going to happen is he's going to be more on top of mind with that list of contacts when they get to that
Mhm.
point in the workflow. That's literally it. I mean, I do want to give a caveat to, like, if you're um sociopathic and diabolical in your copy, you could, change your reputation or decrease
Mhm.
sentiment if you really, really blew it. But 99% of people out there, if you have a modicum of understanding of communication and what people might like
Mhm.
to receive from you, and you're genuinely trying to be helpful, right? If you're
Mhm.
acting in good faith to try to create a positive and authentic relationship with the people that you're doing business with, then
Mhm.
it's just a good idea. And
Yep.
it's so easy to set up, and you set it up once, and then you can go back and analyze and optimize it and try to perfect it if you want. But doing something is so much better than doing nothing. There's no
100%.
reason not to, right?
100%. Yeah.
Cool. So we've got gold here at every
Mhm.
level, from just having the calendar set up and reminder sequence to
Mhm.
reputation to then the reactivation piece as well. All of that is just in one workflow. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. I feel like
Yeah.
there was a lot of layers of value in that.
Mhm.
And I'm curious now if I can take us through a little bit more of the course to
Yeah,
max out.
sure.
Sweet. Okay, so we're gonna start wrapping up a little bit here. Mike just showed us a bunch. That was like 4 or 5 solid points of value, where even if you only do one of those things, you're gonna be helping that business out in a measurable way, in a needle moving way, right? And his single workflow does all 4 of them. So that is so awesome that we got to see that. I'm going to share my screen now.
Mhm.
And here we are here, because what I really want to talk about here at the end is the fact that all of that we just saw live with Mike, thank you for showing us, is just a little bit. It's just a little bit of what he has created and shared with the community. Thank you so much for doing that, Mike. And I want to show
No
you guys
problem.
how to do that. It is where we are sending you from here. Where do you go from here? Inside of your agency's account. And you'll know, for new users, you'll know if you're in the agency account is if this says click here to switch in the top left. That says click here to switch, you're where you need to be. If you're inside of a sub account, like say I'm in the Chase Sandbox account, it'll take a second to kind of load. I would be looking at something like this. It would say Chase Sandbox, and then when I click here, it says switch to agency view. Click that. So I'll click switch to agency view to take me back This is agency view. It says click here to switch. That is where you want to be. On the left-hand side, there is a button called University. Click that. That will take you to this page. Click Go to High Level University. And now I want to share this tab. That's going to open up a new tab, which is going to take you into the High Level University, which is our main one-stop shop for everything you need to know about how to succeed with high level. The stuff Mike just showed with us definitely fits into that purview. Head over to the Learning tab, and you will see it is the second course right here, the Barbershop Community course. There is Mike's beautiful face. We click Open. And that takes us to a full walkthrough, like step by step. Click this button, click the, like the way that I just showed you how to get to this playbook is Mike showing you how to implement the stuff that he just showed us live on this masterclass and more. So start from the top. I don't know exactly how long this course is. That first module is like each one is just a couple minutes long. So I would say the total runtime is probably underneath an hour, right? Maybe around
Yeah,
an hour.
I'd say it'd be underneath an hour because some of them are like 10
Yeah, there's
minutes,
a couple that
12.
are 10. Yeah,
Yeah,
so it's
it's
pretty healthy. It's right around an hour itself. That's so easy, and you can
yeah.
pause, tab over to your high level account, click the buttons he just clicked, tab back
Mhm,
over, watch a little bit more. Like I encourage you to just if you found value in the workflow that he just shared, if you want results anywhere near the kind that he's getting in his barbershops with any of those four mechanisms or anything else in terms of the secret sauce that he shows for helping with barbershops, you're gonna want to watch through this course and then you're going to want to watch this replay as well. And then you're going to want to make sure that you are a part of this high level university. We have so much awesome stuff in here, not just in terms of a massive course library filled with value, thanks to folks like Mike, but all our different product marketing and education initiatives are different elements of our culture, right? New features, virtual events like this one that we're doing right now, the
mhm.
affiliate program, certified admins, on and on and on. So that is the way to go from here. And in fact, actually, I didn't even plug this, but we have you've shared with us a nice little starting place. So here in the very first module, you can see it says snapshot here. You packaged up some of these strategies, some of these wins that you're getting for
Mhm,
barbershops, and you put them into templates in the form of a snapshot so people actually have a starting place. That is very, very cool. Thank you so much for
yeah,
doing that. So, folks watching this, I highly recommend you use that starting place snapshot and then you can customize from there. But it just kind of helps you cut that corner so you're not even building from scratch. And this is just going to tell you basically exactly how to win, right? If you're
mhm,
working with a barbershop and or I'm sure a lot of people understand how,
mhm,
based on the workflow you just showed us, how this might
mhm,
apply to some other industries. I mean, do you
mhm.
think it might be helpful to be asking clients for reviews in other niches or businesses? I have
Yeah,
a feeling it is a good idea.
mhm,
So, yeah, this is an absolutely fantastic resource. I wanted to make sure people understood everything we just saw on the screen from Mike is just a small portion. Definitely head over to the university and watch the barbershop community course. Thank you so much for putting that together for us, Mike. I'm curious, do you have any kind of last words of wisdom or a sign off you might want to leave us with? Advice for implementing the snapshot? Comment on anything I said?
mhm.
I don't know.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you, Haplin. Thank you, High Level, for giving me the opportunity to share what helps me in my business. You guys have done so much for me. This when I was asked to do this, I was like, hell yeah, I got to give back because you guys have done a lot for me. You've done a lot for my clients, and I know for a fact my business, my shop would not be anywhere um, close to where we are now if it wasn't for the systems that we've been able to implement because of High Level. So anyone who's out there who's either working with shops or they have a shop of their own, this playbook right here is definitely going to help you skip a lot of the guesswork. And yeah, and like again, I'm just super thankful to be here. And yeah, that's all I can really say is just thank you guys for all that you do for the community.
Thank you so much as well. I mean, it's mutual for sure. We're
Mhm,
so lucky and blessed to be able to have people with the strategy and the barbershop specific
mhm,
knowledge, right? Like we're just
mhm.
software entrepreneurs, but
Yeah.
folks like you like
Mhm,
bring the secret sauce that is
mhm,
knowing what it actually takes for a barbershop to succeed. And it's like you said, save the guesswork. So if you're watching this
mhm,
video, you know high level is a really powerful tool. you're excited to try to get the most out of it, but there is a lot of guesswork that goes into
Mhm.
this for new beginners unless they have a fantastic resource like the one that you have access to here with Mike. So, highly recommend to check out this replay that will be published on our YouTube channel and elsewhere. You can definitely go back and rewatch, but even better, just go straight to the source, watch the Barbershop course. And yeah, that's all I got. Thank you guys so much for being here, and we will see you in the next masterclass. Bye.
See you guys.